What's going on, my YouTube people? How's everyone doing? Excuse me, I'm getting over a cough, guys. Actually, I'm getting over a flu. A little bit more than 2 weeks ago, I got really sick. This is like a residual cough, so I apologize in advance. It's been kind of rough, and I know everybody out there knows it's been kind of spreading like wildfire, man. It's been crazy, and yeah, I'm part of that statistic there of everybody getting sick. But anyways, guys, yeah, I just want to thank everybody for their recent support again. I definitely feel the love. I really appreciate it. And I wholeheartedly hope everyone is doing well, regardless what your background is, whether you're an enthusiast, whether you're not an enthusiast, whether you're just a consumer, somewhere in the middle, in between all those areas, pro, whatever you are. I just want to thank you guys for listening, regardless, because you're taking the time out of your personal time to at least listen. So appreciate it. I don't want to be too long, but I just want to talk about a couple of things. As you guys see in the title, some concerns, some excitements, and just what I'm hoping, in my personal opinion, as a pretty big enthusiast as far as premium TVs and particularly OLED in the OLED space, whether it's WOLED or QD OLED. These are things that I notice as far as processing goes, things that I just want to share my experience with that I personally hope do get improved. They are minor, but they are big at the same time. So, meaning that a, a small tweak can really make my own or your personal experience that much better. Especially when you're kind of have like a spoiled eye like I do. Yes, I'm very fortunate to be able to purchase these TVs and be able to own them as a consumer. And I really want to share my opinion with you guys as an owner of these TVs that uses them like every day. And just things I'm particularly mostly do comparisons in gaming, and my a lot of my perspective is when the TVs are in specifically game mode. But obviously, I use my TVs for movie watching. I have a really nice Pioneer 4K HDR DVD player connected to the TVs. So I have experience also in those and things that I do normally see, and obviously streaming content and things like that. But definitely use these more for gaming, just entertainment experience in that aspect. And yeah, when I order a big fight or something, I'll have people come over, watch the TV, whatever TV I have on. Obviously I rearrange the areas so it can just be focused on one TV when I know, guests are coming over or whatever the case is. But sometimes I'll just not even do that and just leave them the way they are. Or sometimes I'll even put up my big projector screen, and just because I'm in the mood to watch the fight on the projector. It depends. But anyways, guys, here are the here's the TVs that I'm going to tell you right now that I'm considering, and why I'm considering them, why I'm excited about them. So I don't really want to waste too much of your time, but I just want to get real with you. And I gotta say, man, it's like probably my third most excited or my third most exciting TV that I'm considering purchasing is the Panasonic. So, guys, listen, that Panasonic Z95B, I I I really do think that TV looks good. I don't know if it's because I haven't had one yet, and every even last year, the Z95A. I thought that TV looked amazing. I really, really did. Even through the YouTube camera, or watching it on YouTube, and through a camera from the other end of whoever was displaying it at the moment. It looked really nice. It had a lot of good details, and it had that classic Pioneer color science or color, whatever you want to call it, that they had. That when you see it, you're like, oh my God, it brings me back to that Panasonic feel. I don't know if you guys like were around. I mean, there's going to be people that were, there's going to be people that weren't watching this video, but back in the day when Panasonic was a thing in the United States, and they were, and almost every household had some kind of product made by Panasonic, TVs, cameras, whatever electronics that they had. They had this imagery to them that was super, super sharp, and it was, it just had this like this borderline super realistic look to it, with like the tiniest little bit of extra color that didn't go too far, but at the same time didn't go too little or too accurate. They didn't want, like, to me, in my opinion, their cameras, everything, their TVs always had that look to them. It's really hard to explain. But that's honestly the best way I can explain it. And I see that in the new TVs now, like the Z95A last year. I see that with the Z95B. Um, and, I don't know if that's just like my subconscious tricking me into, but it looks exactly like it to me. So I'm super excited because of that particularly. Like, that's my number one thing. My second thing I'm most excited about with that TV is it it not only has that back ventilation where it's going to be able to suck air in and then kind of push it out towards the top. So I really like that concept because I feel like if they just keep capitalizing off of that concept in the future, maybe not this year, but in the future, that that will be something that will kind of set a new path of how they can make these TVs more efficient, which will make us save more money, but still be just as bright, or if not brighter, every year. So I feel like that's a really good step to take. And then the other thing I'm excited about is how it does have that Kalman software, so it makes it easier to calibrate a TV. And again, I'm no pro, like, at all. Not even close. I'm literally just a consumer, guys. But as a consumer and as an enthusiast, I should say, I do have my own colorimeter and I do play around with it just to make it to my personal liking. I don't really go the accurate route, or I really don't go those kinds of colors and black levels and things. I really just go by what I want my TV to look like. So I use it for that. It's just my own perceptual way of how I like to make my personal TVs look. And it does vary depending on what I'm watching or what I'm gaming on too. So let's make that very, very clear. So that's why I like these TVs, because the flexibility between all of them when I'm gaming or when I'm watching 4K HDR, it's phenomenal. I mean, it really just does not get better than the TVs. And I base a lot of my purchasing decision based off of the versatility within the menu of how much you can change things and stuff. And Samsung's kind of like in last place in my opinion for that, but they make it up in other ways, and that's why their QD OLEDs are always in my house no matter what. So, but anyways, so that's another reason, that Kalman feature. The other reason is the sound system to me looks super high end. So, like, I was thinking about this and I was like, guys, I know sometimes it's not as important to others. So I know this is like a 50-50 kind of thing, but I just feel like there's not many times where you can purchase a TV and have it even more worth it because of the sound quality. Like, I noticed personally when I purchase these TVs, and when they have a really good sound system, it also comes with a really good build. solid tank build. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, maybe it's because I'm old school or something like that, but I think like it just feels like the more solid and substantial that the actual TV feels, the more it's worth its money. You can, it's like you can feel the quality within the weight. Like you can just feel how solid and how beautifully built the TV is. Oh, I don't know what happened there. That's just a dropout. That does happen sometimes, but I think it's mainly because of the splitter, not the direct connection to the S90D. But anyways, so I like so it's like you. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but like sometimes when a TV comes out and it's really high quality, and it's let's say they didn't do good numbers wise because the profit margins were smaller and not enough people bought the TVs, so they overspent on building their TV. I feel like that's the best TV to get right there because not for reasons why they're losing money. I don't. I actually wish they made more money, but it's honestly because they put so much care into that build that they just wanted to get the TV out there, and we win at the end. That's a high quality, super high end TV. And then the year after that, they cut on costs. The year after that, they cut on costs. They make the materials cheaper, and they'll take risk here and there in their products and stuff just to have higher profits. So they can, so like that TV, sometimes people always say, oh, watch out for the first build or second build. Those aren't like the best. I feel like those are the best ones because that's when they put their heart and soul into it and they didn't cheapen out. So I always think it's like kind of the reverse in a lot of ways. So I feel like once every 10 years, this happens where they just remake a whole new TV from the ground up. It's going to be nice and substantial, really good build quality. The speakers that are built in are going to be super high end. Relatively speaking, obviously, they're not going to put some cheap garbage in there. They're going to make it sound good to the point where you're probably not even going to care that much to get a sound bar or something unless you want to substantiate it more. So that's why I'm excited about that. And that's my third most exciting TV. My concerns are it's four stack technology, and this is also going to apply to the G5, obviously. But that four stack tandem OLED technology, there really wasn't that much talk about the white OLED and what kind of work that's doing to make everything continue to still be bright. I know that there's a lot of talk about it's not really about the brightness, but it's about the color brightness and the vibrancy and things like that. But what is LG doing to be able to accomplish that in an efficient way? I don't want my TV to stress too much when you spend that much money and then have something go because they weren't ready for it or something like that. So that's like one of those kind of things I am worried about. At the other token of the whole quality aspect, like, did they miss a step? Are they going to? Is it just kind of like trial and error? They just put it out there and they'll figure it out when the complaints come in. So I get a little worried about that because historically, Panasonic, although their customer service has always been, along the lines of everybody else, um, they their product was as good as Sony's, but it always was a tiny, very small margin under Sony. Even since like the 80s, 90s, and eventually they kind of faded out of the United States for whatever reason. I don't even know. Um, so that's that. So that's pretty much my primary concern about that. It looks like the gaming menu on that TV looks good. I know it's only going to run up to 140 hertz, 4 hertz. But if you're a console gamer, that doesn't matter. So that's going to be that. And likewise with the LG G5, you guys already know that's going to be my second favorite TV. I gotta say that I'm considering purchasing, most likely will. I have to see what LG does. Like, it's just my curiosity. Like, I have to have that TV in my house, even though it's like an 11-year-old technology with the WOLED. I know, but it is a new panel. It is a new pixel technology, and I just need to see it with my own eyes in my house. I need to experience it. I need to game on it. I need to really, because, one thing with LG is they never truly, really ever failed me, ever. Ever since my first OLED, I never had any issues. They've always worked. I've never, yes, I've had some issues with like banding and things like that, mostly in like grays and black full screen backgrounds and things like that, but never in situations like this, as like you're watching on the screen. And so, the LG G5 is just that reliable horse. They take good quality control over their TVs. They are really good with their build quality. They just really don't have many issues. And if I had an issue with an OLED, with WOLED from LG, uh, you know, it was probably super minor that I don't even remember it. So that's what I really like about LG, and it's funny because I'd have their appliances at as well, and even those don't even hold up a candle as far as like quality control and good quality compared to their TV. So they made, obviously, even though they're under LG, they're different divisions, but LG TVs, I gotta say, guys, like just for the reliability themselves, and then having a 5-year OLED panel warranty on it. I mean, you got to give respect when respect is due. It is not a bad looking TV. It is an amazing looking TV, and the way you can customize it to your liking, yeah, you're right. It's compared to a QD OLED, it's not going to be as colorful, but I promise you, there are times where it still looks better, which I'm going to do close ups and show you. That's why I have this sample up here. Um, so yeah, so again, I'm excited for the G5 just because that's my kind of go-to TV, and it has been for a while. Um, Now we're gonna my most exciting number one consideration, which is pretty much most likely going to be a buy. I'm still obviously going to wait, and I want to really check it out. Is the Samsung S90F. Obviously, it's going to be in the 77-inch all TVs. So plain and simple, guys. You're looking at the S90D right now. It is literally one of the best TVs I've ever seen in my entire life, ever. I mean, it has a nicer picture, in my personal opinion, than what the A95L had, and it's a fraction of the cost. That is how good the S90D looks. I have to imagine that the S90F is going to look better than that. And for it to look better than that is just exciting for me. I'm not going to go with the S95F just because I'm really still truly not a fan of the matte finish. I personally think, yes, even though it may look amazing, especially in the dark, um, I just don't want to look at it in the light. I don't like that plasticky looking matte finish. It looks like, even with the lights on, which I still watch half my content with my lights on, I feel like it will raise the blacks in my setup. And I'm not a fan of raising blacks from an ambient standpoint. I don't like the way it looks because it makes it look really ashy, really like whited out or powdery and flat. Um, and I'm not a fan of that at all. So I think that, and plus, I'm also not a fan of their One Connect box. I just had nightmare issues with them. And then the S95C, I was gave it another chance, and it was the same nightmare issues as far as the One Connect box goes, where we just get constant dropouts. Like it, that drove me absolutely insane because I loved the way it looked. It took me forever to figure it out. So yeah, so that's that. So the S90F just seems like it's just gonna be maybe slightly improved as far as bright color brightness goes, brightness in general, maybe better blacks. I think the blacks are just fine. I think the panel uniformity doesn't get any better than the S90D. I've never seen a cleaner panel in my entire life, not even the A95L. And that's how good the S90D is. It's that good. The one thing, so that's my excitement. Now, here's some of the things that I do want to express that I hope I see improvements by, and it's really just kind of at this point right now, specifically for Samsung. I didn't hear that much about their new processor. I know they call it a new gen processor and things like that, but it's still the same processor that they've used last year. Maybe it's improved, but sometimes I feel like once you improve the same processor, like what exactly are you improving? Because some of that, the more you improve it, the more processing power it takes. The more processing power it takes, then sometimes it's going to sacrifice somewhere else. They're gonna relieve some processing power and move it over a different direction. So sometimes you have to like think about that. But anyways, what I'm hoping that gets improved is just more detail. So like for example, we all know QD OLED definitely has better color volume, just better color vibrancy, everything. So like, but it just doesn't have the brightness that, let's say, the LG G4 has, or the S95D has. The S90D still shows beautiful color and it's a super clean panel. But again, sometimes there are some losses that you take, and I don't know what it is, if it's either processing or like the black levels can just get better, or look more realistic or more noticeable, not as flat. But I'm gonna grab my camera here and I'm gonna show you what I mean, guys. All right, so we're gonna go to the S90D first, and if you look at Freya's cheeks right here, as you can see, the dirt like kind of going around her face, going down here towards her neck. Like, it does have a nice look to it. It looks clean. I mean, it's noticeable, looks clean and everything. But then, now let's go to the LG G4. And you see how like more realistic it actually looks. Like it's like it goes from an image where you can notice it and see it, and like, but you can still see processing, to like this actually looks like it's on her face. You see what I'm saying? So that is what I'm hoping Samsung improves, because you have more of a softer look. And again, it looks good, guys. Don't get me wrong. We're talking like splitting hairs here, but in person it's more noticeable. This right here, like in these areas here where the dirt actually is heavy, you can see like the bumps out of her skin more. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can see the bumps. It's insane. Over here, yeah, you can see it, but it still kind of looks flat. It's not really like, like it's not, I don't know, it's just looks more flat. So that's like one thing that I'm hoping gets improved for Samsung, and then either for LG or or the Z95B. Excuse me, guys. Here's one thing that I'm hoping will get improved for WRGB. We're gonna run over here. We're gonna go right here. All right. So I brought this scene up because it's important to know of what type of color that I'm referring to. All right. So, guys, obviously I have my focus on these little guys over here. All right, I'm gonna show you here, but just transparent colors in general, like this, which a lot of video games have, guys, a lot, or like this right here, or this right here, red. I'm hoping that WOLEDs can improve, Because no matter what you do, don't get me wrong, it looks beautiful, but that's not red. That's more like a hot pink. All right. This green right here isn't as clear and as vibrant as the S90D. All right. We'll move down here. This little blue guy down here, right, just looks all around sharper, clearer, and more transparent on the S90D. That is something that is obviously a QD OLED advantage, clearly, without even having to make any effort into processing. Like, it just looks native. Oops, sorry guys. Another dropout. But yeah, so that's what that is to me right there. So if either LG can improve their colors to look like that a lot closer with their amazing processing and their more realistic details, especially like in black levels. Like when you go to Freya and look at her face with the, you know, like with the dirt on it and stuff. Let me get that angle again. I'm gonna see if I could, right here. Like, it's mainly because the processing can make her look more realistic on her skin. Like, that is something that, guys, you will notice if you're more of an enthusiast or if you have these TVs side by side. You will see some of that picture quality, like the differences. Like, you will actually see that. So that's all I really wanted to kind of explain right there. But yeah, I mean, you know, those are like things that I'm personally hoping I see improve, because like I said in the beginning of the video, they're small, but they're extremely impactful. It's crazy. So, you know, but anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I really wanted to say. Sorry, didn't mean to really draw out this video, but, you know, again, guys, you know, besides all the fact that these two TVs can look very 3D in their own way, just as good and things like that, just the fact that the S90D is like pretty much half the price of the G4, even lower. I mean, come on, guys. Like, you know, these things all come into play into your personal buying decision. So I'm just letting you know, like, these are things that I notice, and I just want to share with you. If like they're important to you as well, take it to consideration. If they're not important to you because they are like a minor detail that you can care less about, go with the S90D. I mean, I can almost promise you, you're going to be happy. I don't know. I personally don't see how you could not be happy. It's a top of the line TV at a lower price, and it's plain and simple. Yeah, it's going to have its faults and things like that, just like any other TV, but at the same time, it's more forgiving because of its price point. And I promise you, it's going to take you're going to have a really, really hard time finding its faults compared to a higher end TV like a G4. We'll have to say most people will tell you any day of the week that the S90D is the better way to go, just because not only its price point, but what the TV picture quality wise can provide. It is literally like at the top, the very, very top of that list at a lower price, if not even better, in many, many ways. So that's just really my reasoning why I'm excited for the next TVs, because it's going to be the same, pretty much the same thing as it was, or the same competition as it was last year, but you know, just better, just, you know, better fine details and refining that have may be incremental, but also game changing at the same time. And these new panel technologies I'm excited for, with LG and excuse me, with LG and Panasonic. So, but yeah, I'm excited, guys. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.